Hello. Hi. Today we're going to talk about the best daily routines to manifest your dream life. Welcome to the live. If you can hear me, please let me know in the chat because I'm going to go ahead and jump right in and get to it. Oh, Khaled Spill's on it. Thank you. You knew that question was coming, didn't you? All right. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Today we're talking about, again, the best daily routines to manifest your dream life. And so I want to get started by saying, I get this question a lot. Andrea, what are your routines? What do you do every day? And before I even jump in, I have to tell you, my routine will vary. And I think this is a really important thing to understand is that a lot of times people get stuck on one routine and they feel like they have to journal every day or they have to do affirmations every day. And if a routine becomes a chore, it will lose its sparkle, it will lose its effect. Okay, so before I even jump into these routines, I'm going to tell you that these are things that I do kind of in a rotation. So if one gets kind of stale, I'll put it on the back burner. And so, again, these are my favorites, but be willing to mix and match. You don't have to do this every day. This is all about cultivating the right vibrational state where you are in a very positive vibration. You're feeling good, you're feeling upbeat. And so, we want to stay away from doing things that feel tedious. And so, if any of this becomes tedious, put it down and pick up another one. Okay, so we're going to jump in with the first one. Ooh, Abundant Queen, thank you for the super chat. I'll answer your question in just a minute. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. But let's jump on in and get started with our first daily routine. Now, this is actually a new one that I've recently picked up that I like a lot. And it's one I actually read about in a book. And it's a very obscure book. It's a book I doubt many of you have even heard of before. But I'll go ahead and show it to you because some of you guys I know like to read. And so if you like reading, this one's really good. So this woman's name is Lee Miltier, and she's like a motivational speaker slash sales coach from the 90s. Like you can see how old this book looks. Okay. But this is a book I heard about. I was watching her do some speaking on some old YouTube video and she mentioned her book. And so I went on to Amazon and I found it and I was reading through it. And she's got some really great suggestions. And so a few months back, I was reading through this and I tried out one of her suggestions and it was really, really good. And so this is one I'm putting at the top of the list because it's one I haven't really talked on much. And I've seen a lot of quick success with it. So I think it's worth jumping in with. And so the suggestion that she has to do with questions. Questions. Now, a lot of times, and we've talked about ask formations on this channel, I've told you guys that it can be much easier to ask rather than to affirm. So instead of saying, I am abundant, it can be easier to ask a question like, how am I abundant? Or how can I be abundant? Because that will get you in resonance looking for positive answers, looking for results. The mind can really only focus in one direction. It can either focus on what is wanted or the lack of what is wanted. And so sometimes when we affirm and we don't believe, what we're focusing on is the absence. So if I'm feeling poor right now and I affirm I am abundant, it may actually put me in a state of lack because I'll start thinking, well, I'm not abundant because of this and this and this and this. Well, asking a question actually puts your mind in a different frame. How am I abundant? Get you looking for evidence that you are abundant. Okay. So that's kind of the general thing is the asking questions. And so this is something she mentioned in her book that I thought was so helpful. And like I said, I tried it out, had really great results with it. And it's to ask questions in the morning that are related to your goals. So, if there are a couple of things that you want to manifest that are important to you, instead of just writing out your goal or I'm going to do this or I'm getting this, I'm getting that, ask questions related to your goals and then write down as many answers as you can. Okay, so just for funsies and for kicks, I tried this out recently. I was like, you know what? Let's just see for fun if I can use this technique to manifest an extra $50,000 into my business in a short period of time. Okay, by the end of the year, just an extra amount just to see if I can get it. And so for probably a couple weeks, it was at least 2 weeks. In the morning, I was writing out that question. How can I manifest an extra 50,000 into my business? How can I manifest an extra 50,000 into my business? That's a question. And I would write down answers as they came up. So I would get ideas about promotions I could run or ways that I could tweak my website or ideas about staying in alignment at certain times of day. All these kind of ideas started to come and I would just jot them down. Okay. Now, the reason why this strategy is effective is again, it gets your mind focused on the goal, but in a positive way. How can this happen? How could this happen? It makes you feel optimistic, and also, when you do this strategy early in the day, you're going to notice that as your day progresses, you start getting guidance. So I would start getting ideas like in the middle of the day, make this call, put this up, try this out. And it was pretty remarkable because like I said, I wanted to manifest an extra 50,000 by the end of the year, but I've already cleared it. I got it super fast, okay? Because I had all these ideas that started coming to me. So I really love this strategy. Definitely try it out. I will say that with this particular strategy, don't do it for a billion goals. Okay. Pick like two or three. Sometimes people go crazy and I'm going to manifest the house, the car, the boat, the girl, the money, the da, 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 da. If you give yourself a laundry list like that to do every morning, you're going to go back into this is a lot of work and this is stressful and this is annoying. Okay, so pick like two goals, things that you would like to manifest, and just drop that down first thing in the morning. How can I manifest this? Question mark. And then whatever comes to mind, any actions you can take, any things you can do with your vibration, maybe there's affirmations that you think of, whatever comes to mind, just jot it down. That's all you have to do. And you'll notice that as you do this, you become more optimistic and you start moving in that direction of your goal. It's really, really cool. All right, so that's the first one. I love that one. All right, but let me come through and say hello real quick. Hello to everybody. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Focal Project Beats, starting at 50. Thank you, Callus Bill. I missed you guys too. Thank you, Lewis. That's very kind. Sacred Feminine, peace. Hello. All right, Abundant Queen sent me a super chat. So let me answer this one real quick before we keep going. Abundant Queen asks, I've been in a vibration slump this week due to some problems at work. Any suggestions on how to improve my mood quickly when I am at my job? Yes, absolutely. Okay. Oh, hi, Debbie. Hello. Yeah, so this happens a lot where even okay, so I've seen Abundant Queen around here. I know you've been watching for a while, right? So even when you guys are skilled in the law of attraction and you understand how to raise your vibration, there will be periods of time where you may fall into a slump. So the first thing I would say about that is we don't want to beat up on ourselves if and when that happens. Because a lot of times, especially when you understand about manifesting, there's this thought that I should be better. I should know how to do this better. I shouldn't be in a bad mood. I'm not allowed to be in a bad mood. Okay. We want to avoid that because if we start to resist the negative energy, we keep it active. What you resist persists. So the first thing is okay, this is serving me somehow. I'm allowed to be in a bad mood once in a while. That's okay. I'm allowed to feel this way. That's a much more empowered way to feel. So that's the first thing I would recommend. The second thing I would say is that problems at work, you can combat issues at any particular segment of time if you come at it before you get where you're going. Okay. So a lot of times when people go into work, they are going in expecting that there's going to be a problem or going in not excited to be going in there. I don't want to go to work today. I don't want to deal with this. Okay. And whatever energy we walk into, we're going to attract results out of that. So, what you can do is instead play a game. play a game. And so the game's pretty simple. Before you go to work, you want to get yourself kind of in a calm place. And we can use some ask formations. How can I have fun today? Or how am I going to attract some fun or some interest or some intrigue at my work? Trying to look for the fun will get you outside of the quagmire of what's going wrong. Okay, so maybe you're having a problem with your boss, and we've been fixated on that, but perhaps there's an opportunity to have fun with a coworker or fun with a customer or fun on your lunch break. Start looking for the fun before you go into work. So now the mind is focused on having a good time rather than problems at work. And again, that's what you would want to do is like you don't want to try and improve your mood when you're at your job. You want to improve your mood before you go into your job because whatever mood you walk in with is going to either spiral you up or spiral you down. Hope that makes sense. All right, guys. Again, remember today's topic is we were talking about best daily routines to manifest your dream life. I've got a few suggestions for you. The first one, again, came courtesy of that book. I don't even know if you could. I found this on Amazon. It was used. So I don't know how many of you go try and looking for it. Good luck finding it. But it's a really good book. And let's get into the next one. Oh, first, real quick, I do have to mention, do some housekeeping. Today is the last day for the course sale I've been talking about. So I do have two programs right now that have been on a 50% off sale. This is my last manifestation course sale of the year, and it does close today. So if you're interested in either of these two programs or both, you definitely want to go check them out. The first program is for any of you that are business owners or aspiring business owners, aspiring entrepreneurs. If you're interested in learning how to use the law of attraction to consistently attract clients or customers or sales, this is a program that's designed to show you how to do just that. Okay, so you can kind of get off the emotional roller coaster of, am I going to make money or am I not? And just consistently attract clients into your business. That one's called Entrepreneur Fastlane. The other program that is on the sale right now is for anybody who's dealing with debt issues. I've been getting lots of questions about debt recently. How do I manifest my way out of debt? I do have a program about that. Okay, so if you're dealing with debt collectors or if you're dealing with credit card debt, student loan debt, back taxes, any kind of financial obligations, this program will show you how to shift your energy so that you stop accumulating debt. You're able to pay it off quickly and attract more money in than is going out. That program is called Money Mastery. And Mary has already gone ahead and dropped those into the chat over on YouTube. If you want to get those again, tonight's the last chance to get them for 50% off. You need to use the coupon code SUCCESS at checkout if you're interested in that. Again, that coupon code is SUCCESS. And we do have a couple links over here on Facebook as well. Okay, you can use that coupon for either one or for both to get 50% off your total order. All right, enough housekeeping. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Again, today we're talking about best routines to manifest your dream life. And remember, you're not required to do these every day, okay? you want to switch them up. As soon as they get kind of stale, switch them up. All right, so here's the next one. Because I was just mentioning the book, I thought I would need to actually talk about this one next. This is one I do a lot, okay, is books. Now, I know not everybody's a reader, and if you're not a big reader, that's okay. You can substitute audiobooks, you could substitute podcasts, but the idea is very early in the morning, listening to something or reading something that is very positively attuned. Now, this is super important. This is one of the ones that I do more than I don't do, which is that in the morning, I like to drink coffee. I got off of caffeine for a while and then I got back on, but I've been drinking coffee again. And so in the morning when I'm drinking coffee, I've been reading. I don't read a bunch. I read maybe just a handful of pages, but I like to pick books that are very uplifting and inspiring. Now, this is a very helpful thing to do if you are wanting to manifest your dream life, because it's kind of like what we were just talking about with the abundant queen over here with improving mood at work. Okay. Whatever energy you start your day with is either going to move you up or it's going to move you down. So the first, hour or so that you're awake is arguably the most critical hour that you are awake in terms of your manifesting power. Because when you wake up, you're hopefully well rested and you're in kind of this vibrational neutral zone. Okay. Whatever thoughts you put in there are going to start to shift your vibration. So, very early, you want to be programming or taking the opportunity to think about things that are uplifting in nature. Now, the reason why I like books or audiobooks or podcasts early in the morning is because early in the morning, you're tired. Okay. It may be hard for you to think really broad and really big. And so, pulling out a book can be great because you can use somebody else's inspiration to get your mind going in a positive space. And so when I was pulling this book out, because this is a good one, I pulled a few more off the shelf because I know a lot of you guys are readers. If you guys are interested in, well, I get questions a lot about what do I read. So here was a few that I thought might be good. Okay. This is one a lot of you guys have probably read, Think and Grow Rich. It's a good one if you're trying to attract abundance. That one's one a lot of people know about. Here's another one, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's a really good one by Stephen Covey. If you're not into, like, if you just want to read something just for fun, sometimes it's fun to read stuff that's just fun to read. I like to read things that are like, if I'm learning a new skill, that can kind of get me going. This was kind of cool. Have you guys ever done face reading before? You know what I'm talking about? Chinese face reading. It's a thing where you can look at a person's face and learn about their character. This was one I read recently that was pretty cool. It's called The Wisdom of Your Face by Jean Hammer. This one I wanted to make sure to bring out too. A lot of my friends here that are law of attraction folk, a lot of you guys are really sweet people. Like, you're very nice, you're very friendly, and a lot of you are very concerned about being good people. And one of the things that can happen, and I talk about this a lot when it comes to attracting abundance or career success, is that very frequently, being humble or having a lot of humility can get in your way. And so I see a lot of people struggle with this, feeling like you can't ask for what you want, or it's wrong for you to have what you want, or it's wrong for you to talk about, the things that you want to have. This is a book that I think would be really helpful. If you're somebody who feels like it's wrong for you to talk good about yourself, talk positively about yourself, or if you feel like maybe you're a little too humble for your own good, so it's hard for you to reach for your goals, or it's hard for you to ask for a promotion. Yeah, I know it's upside down. It's like because the camera's flipped. That's why. This book is called, you can't really read it because it's backwards. Brag, the Art of Tooting Your Own Horn Without Blowing It. This is a really great book for any of you who are wanting to become more assertive or ask for the things that you want and to feel more comfortable talking about your successes, because talking about your successes is really important with the law of attraction. I know a lot of people struggle with that one. So this one's by a woman named Peggy Klaus. All right, so that's just a few books for you. But yes, reading books early in the morning, you don't need to read a bunch, but just a little bit can be very helpful at getting your vibration where you wish it to be. And of course, if you guys have questions about manifesting, feel free to go ahead and drop those into the chat. And yeah, sorry, Facebook. I know those books are backwards. They're probably harder for you guys to read. Hi, Debbie. Debbie asks, hi, Andrea. Any suggestions? How can I manifest Invisalign braces for my teeth when I don't have the money currently? Thank you. Ooh. You know what, Debbie? I remember I got Invisalign. My teeth are not perfect. I didn't stick with it long enough, but I wanted to get my teeth taken care of too. So this is actually one of the first things that I got when I started learning about the law of attraction was Invisalign. So one thing I will tell you, and this was before I started attracting a lot of money. Okay. So Invisalign is probably going to cost you a couple $1,000s, maybe more. And so before that time period, It was something I always said I couldn't afford. I'm never going to be able to afford braces. It's never going to happen. Okay. So the first thing you want to start doing is affirming that it can happen. Lots of people get Invisalign. Lots of people get these kinds of things done. It's not the impossible dream. It can be done. And then the second thing is just start walking down the path. Okay, so this is something I talk about sometimes. Sometimes you guys want things that maybe they seem like they're out of reach. And so instead of going for them or moving in the direction of them, we will sit there and wait for the conditions to be just right. So you may find yourself just sitting there waiting for the $2,000 to drop in your lap. But the problem with that is if we're sitting there waiting, the vibration we're putting out is waiting. Okay. And so what will happen is we get put on a delay where the thing that we want won't come because the energy we're putting out is saying, I have to wait. I have to wait. So instead, what you want to do is you want to just start moving in that direction. Because if you start moving in that direction, the energy is, I'm ready for this. This is going to happen. A way will be made. Now, when I say move in the direction, I don't mean you need to go plunk down the money today. But you could start researching different orthodontists or different dentists. You could start seeing what are some alternative ways to pay for this. I know sometimes you can finance. There's other ways that you can do it other than just having the cash. But just start moving down the path. Because an interesting thing will happen is that when you start moving in the direction of the dream, now instead of saying we're waiting, we're saying it's happening. And then circumstances will start to line up to allow you to get that done. Okay, so just start moving in that direction. I'd start looking for dentists, orthodontists, look into payment options, maybe schedule a consultation. Just start going down the path and the way will be made. Hope that's helpful. Thanks, Benoit. Oh, yeah, I'm in the gym every day. Every single day. Donnell, basically, whatever we believe will become our reality. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to answer one more and then we'll get back to the topic here. Betty G asks, I'm a stay at home mom, wife. I have manifested money before outside my husband's income, but I haven't been able to do it consistently nor without strings attached to the money. How can I reframe? I love this question. Okay. I get this type of question a lot. I'm not surprised because it was something I went through too. And I see a lot of people do this, especially women with their husbands. Sometimes it's men with their wives, but frequently it's women with their husbands. I know I went through it. I'm getting money from the husband, but I want to get it from me. I want to get it from me. Okay. And so that can create some hangups because what we're saying is, universe, I don't want it that way. I really want it that way. Okay. And so when we do that, we actually start to focus on lack that I'm not attracting it. Okay. And also we start to focus on, instead of appreciating husband's money, we start to depreciate husband's money. Okay. So what we always talk about this is that when you appreciate something, you cause it to grow. So if husband's bringing in money and we're saying, oh, this is great, I'm loving this, this is wonderful, then his money will start to grow. But if I'm looking at it and saying, I don't want his money, we're not going to appreciate it. Rather, we're going to start to depreciate it. So, what you want to do is actually the opposite. What you want to do is the opposite in a situation like that, is that you want to take ownership for your husband's money and you want to appreciate it. Look at how much money I'm manifesting through my husband. Look at how much money I'm manifesting through my husband. Now, when you're doing that, you're appreciating the money that's coming from him. So he will start to attract more. And you're also appreciating the amount of money that you are independently attracting because the message you're putting out is, I'm attracting this money. I'm attracting this money. And I do this myself. My husband may go to work and bring home a paycheck, but in my mind, I manifested that money. Do you get it? So I'm taking ownership. It's my reality. The money came into my reality. Take ownership of it rather than saying this isn't mine. Okay. Because that will flip the energy for you and allow you to attract more from your husband and also from yourself. Okay. Let's move along to our next point here. Again, today we're talking about best daily routines to manifest your dream life. Okay, here's a fun one. So this one's about visualization. Visualization. And so this is one I love to do. I actually just put this one back on the shelf because I've been doing it for a while, but I've had tons of success with this one. And it's about visualizing at peak moments. Visualizing at peak moments. So for this routine, what you want to do is you want to sit here and think about what are the times of day typically that you are in the best mood. Usually you're going to find that there's a couple of times during the day that really are better than all the rest. All right. So for me personally, one of my favorite times of the day, I was just mentioning I go to the gym. Towards the end of my workout, I usually jump on some kind of a cardio equipment. So I'm either on a bike or a treadmill or an elliptical, but it's like my wind down time, but I'm all jazzed up for my workout and I'm in a good mood. And that's like a really peak time for me. Okay. So that's one of my peak times. During your peak times, you want to take that time to visualize the things that you want. Okay. So I probably look completely ridiculous when I'm on the treadmill. If you're running, don't do this because you'll fall off the treadmill. But if I'm on like a bike or I'm walking, I can do this. I'll close my eyes while I'm doing that activity and I will visualize manifesting the things that I want. Now, this is a really great thing to do because it's going to train you to visualize at the appropriate time, which is when you're in a high vibration. A lot of times people are visualizing, but they don't have the vibrational component down. So you may be sitting there thinking about the things that you want, but if you're not in a really peak pinnacle state, there's a very good chance that as you're thinking about your dream, you're actually thinking about it in lack. Okay, so if I'm in a bad mood and I try to visualize making that extra $50,000, well, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to be thinking about how it's not going to happen, how it's going to be hard, this isn't going to happen, and you'll start projecting lack. So whenever you visualize, you want to visualize when you're in those top peak moments. Okay, that's a really great idea. Think about what are the top peak moments for you. I have heard some people talk about this is a little dirty, but I'll mention it. Some people talk about, if you have an orgasm, that's a good time to think about it. I forget. I think it was who did I hear that from? Teal Swan. Do you guys know who that is? Teal Swan? She's a little bit more risque than me, but it's an idea. But try visualizing during your peak moments. And so to make this a habit, think about what are the times of day that I am the happiest, the highest, the most excited, and utilize that energy to be your visualization time for the day. And yes, if you guys have not yet, please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, make sure to follow me on Facebook, turn on the notifications, all that good stuff. I do lives like this every single week. Love to see you guys. Come along for the ride. And then also, if you are new to my work and you haven't yet, please make sure to take my very quick 5-minute manifesting test. It is free. It'll allow you to put something out and watch it come back so that you know for certain that you really are the creator of your reality. Okay, so you have to take my word for it. This test will show you that you have the power that you can do it yourself. That test is at a link, manifestingtest.com, manifestingtest.com. And my lovely assistant, Mary, is plugging those into the chat as well if you'd like to take that test. Again, it's free and it's only 5 minutes. So take a gamble with that and see how it goes for you. All right, let's move along. Yeah, if you guys have questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Andini, will the entrepreneur fast lane be good to attract more views and money? Yeah, anything that, okay, so entrepreneur fast lane, we talk a lot about clients and sales, but anything where there's kind of this fluctuation, it's good for. So attracting views, attracting subscribers, attracting customers. If you're in this situation where it kind of feels like I don't know if I can get them, I don't know if I can't, this program will show you how to get into that vibration of just getting them to roll in. So that's a good question. Thank you for asking that. Entrepreneur spirit. Hi, Andrea. What do you think about psychic readings? Since I watched your videos, I've been shifting to a new level of awareness, and I'm now skeptical about getting readings and learning to trust myself. Well, I like this question because a lot of us who are interested in this material love psychics and all this. I do too. It's fun. What I will say is that when you go to see the psychic, they are getting you where you're at. So it's kind of like your reality is going to confirm what's going on inside of you. So psychics are great because like you go sit down with them and they'll really be able to, if it's a good psychic, really be able to pick up on what's going on with you. But understand that it's what you're putting out. So I would go in with the attitude of confirming the positives. Don't go in there looking for the negatives. I wouldn't be going in there like if you're down. Okay, for example, sometimes I remember a friend did this. She was going through like this terrible breakup. And so she kept going to see the tarot reader over and over again. And she just kind of stayed down here. Okay. You don't want to do that. So, like, if you're in a bad place and you're going to see the psychic, you're going to be getting confirmation of things suck, things are bad. Okay. So, you don't need the psychic to navigate your reality. The psychic is more there just to reflect back to you what's going on in your inner world, which you can change. I hope that makes sense. I still like them. They're still fun. They're still fun to go to and to see, but I don't go and do that stuff when I'm in a negative space. I wouldn't do it. Donnell, I like to use ask formations on myself, like why are things always working out in my favor? That's a good one. Why are things always working out in my favor? I like that. You're welcome, Debbie. XWJ Anthony. Hi, Andrea. Where do you draw the line between living abundantly and overspending or impulse buying? Thank you. Ooh, that's a good question. So I talk about that a lot, especially in the money program that's on sale, the debt program. I talk about that a lot. And and when you guys hear me talk about attracting money, I do talk about this is like when you spend, you make yourself more accessible to receive. So letting go of money allows you to attract more in. But it's not about the physically letting go of the money. This is the distinction that we're teetering on here with this question. It's not the physically paying for the item. It's the being able to release the money happily and easily. Okay? So it's the energetic release of the money that is important. So when you can spend and feel good about your spending, when you can spend and just this is great, I got more than enough, no big deal, have fun with it, then yes, that will put you in the vibration of living abundantly. If you find yourself in the place where you're spending, but you're feeling guilty or you're worried, well, now you're teetering in a different direction where you may be spending the money, but you're not really letting it go. Okay. You're not energetically letting it go. So, what I would say about this is that it is a good idea to train yourself to get used to letting go of money easier. If you're dealing with this issue of back and forth, I would start on a smaller level. Don't just go to the mall and spend $5,000 this afternoon if this is stressing you out. Instead, start to spend a little bit more and get comfortable with it. Okay. So you can be more comfortable with letting go of $5, $10, $20. Work your way into that. Okay. But if you are feeling stressed out about it, then don't. Because if you feel stressed out about it and you start spending the money, it isn't actually letting go. Okay. And it will put you in that place where you will have the overspending experience where spending the money did not impact you positively. Hope that's helpful. All right, guys. Again, today's topic is best daily routines to manifest your dream life. Okay. This is one that I do. All the ones that I've given you so far are ones, and I've told you flip them in and out. Okay, so if you get tired of reading, stop reading for a while. Right. This is one that I would say of all the ones I've talked about is the one that's probably the most important to do consistently. But it doesn't really require any. any real work. It's more of this is something that you do on a daily basis, how you handle your life that will help you manifest positive results. Okay. And it's to tell it the way you want it to be. Tell it the way you want it to be. So let me make some distinctions here about what I mean. When we're having conversations with people and people ask you pointed questions, how is work? How is your day? How are things going? How are the kids? Most people will respond very honestly about all of the things that maybe stick out to them the most. Okay. And if those things are negative, then they will voice them. Well, my son's having problems with this. Work has been bad, or I haven't been enjoying that. You know what? It's been a rough day. And they will be honest about the current situation and how they feel about it. But instead, what you want to train yourself to do is to speak it the way you wish it to be, understanding that reality is an infinite construct. And however I talk about it, I'm actively scripting it into being. So if there are things that are going on at work that I don't like, and somebody asks me how work is going, and I tell them, quite honestly, all these things I don't like, what I'm doing in that moment is I'm actively creating more problems at work of the same nature. So there is a way to do this where you are very honest, by the way. I'm not asking you to lie. Oh, work is great. It's fabulous. No, don't do that because that's going to be you um, lying to yourself, right? And it's going to make you feel like this is fake, this is false, this isn't true. So instead, what you want to do when you tell it like you want it to be, focus in on what is going right and only talk about that. Okay. So if somebody were to come up to you and say, hey, how's work going? And you're having all these problems with your boss, you don't want to talk about those things. Instead, you want to scan your mind for what is going well at work and tell the person that. Okay, so how's work going? Well, I got this really fun coworker that I'm enjoying spending time with. Or, you know what, we found this new lunch spot we've been going to. Talk about the positives when people ask you questions. Let's say that somebody asks you about your business and business has been slow and you haven't been making that much money. Well, instead of being honest and talking about what you don't want, you can find a way to reframe it into a positive. Well, it's been a lot more relaxed lately. I've had a lot more time to focus on family recently. That's been good. It's been a much easier pace for me recently. Do you see? So tell it the way you want it to be. This is something you absolutely want to be doing on a daily basis as much as you can. And for this one, again, this isn't a premeditated routine. Rather, this is just a way that you want to routinely speak to people when they're asking you questions. You want to always have a positive response. You always want to find, the silver lining in every situation. And that's what you're talking about. You're talking about the silver linings. If there isn't something positive, it's got to be a silver lining. And again, people were you're not being honest. Well, what's honesty? Honesty is about what's going on in one particular frame of reality, but there's infinite frames. Okay, be honest about what you actually want to bring into the world. Don't be honest about the stuff you don't want to see. Don't bring it to light because you're just going to amplify it and make more of it for you to have to deal with. Okay, very important thing to remember. All right, guys, again, if you got questions, go ahead and drop them into the chat. Danielle Goodwin, any advice on procrastination and how to get out of that habit? Thank you. Sure. Okay, first thing is, do you need to be doing it? Sometimes there are things that you may be procrastinating on because you just honestly don't want to be doing them and you're doing them out of obligation or fear. If it's that, then you don't need to be doing that. Get that off of your list. Okay. Sometimes procrastination is just a habit, however. They are things that you want to do, but you've just kind of gotten in the habit of pushing things off that need to be done or things that you feel that need to be done. So, and again, that can become habitual. So some people do struggle with this where there are things that they want to do, like I want to pay my bills. I want to get those things done, but I'm dragging my feet. Okay. Here's the thing to understand about that is very helpful. The reason why procrastination becomes problematic is because there's a part of you when one of these tasks or things that come up is a bit fearful. Okay. Maybe not massively fearful, but a bit fear. I don't want to deal with this right now. What if there's a problem? It might be a headache. And so when we sense that fear, we kind of shove it. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that headache. I don't want to deal with that hassle. Okay. Now, whatever we resist persists. Okay. So if you're a little bit stressed out about paying that bill or doing that task, getting away from it, trying to push it away actually makes the fear of that situation bigger. So now that little task tomorrow feels bigger. And then the next day feels even bigger. And then the next day feels even bigger. And you guys have probably seen this before where there's something relatively small that you needed to do and you kept pushing it off and it got to be so stressful, and then when you finally did it, you're like, wow, that was so easy. Why didn't I just do that weeks ago? Okay, that's the dynamic that goes on with procrastination. So what you want to start to do instead is training yourself. If this is a habit and it's not about a specific thing that you don't actually want to be doing, if it's a true habit that you're having, you want to start to train yourself to execute quickly on things, starting with small stuff. Okay, so for instance, when you open your email, maybe there's an email in there that needs to be responded to. Just immediately answer the email, get it done, move on. If a bill comes in that needs to be paid quickly, pay it quickly with the small things. Because what you're going to notice is when you do those things, it gives you this sense of accomplishment. And instead of feeling fear, you feel like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And it gets you into that vibration of, okay, I just handle this stuff when it comes in, as it comes in, rather than stacking it off later to do it at a later time. The other way I like to think of it too is, being in the flow. If something comes to my attention to handle now, let me just handle it now. Why am I going to push it off for a later time? It's here for me to deal with now. Okay, so you do this by starting small. Just start training yourself with the little things, and you'll get to that point where anything that comes at you, you just kind of get it done and move on. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Brit's been doing evening turn down service. I like that. Yeah, I didn't know anything about evening turn down service before I knew about the law of attraction. Let me tell you something. I didn't stay in those kind of hotels, but it is nice. It is nice. Anne Marie, have you ever heard of manifesting reverse in time? I did your manifestation test, and both of the objects had been manifested into my life the day before I heard the test. I have not heard of that. Manifesting reverse in time. Is that a thing that people are talking about? Let me know. That's kind of cool. But you know what? Time isn't linear. So everything is occurring simultaneously. So, I mean, why not? Why not? Ooh, we got a super chat here. Who's this from? Fairy Dragon, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Fairy Dragon asks, I have a side business with my mom, and all the money we make goes to her. How to focus on my business success and mom's money if the money isn't mine? Claim it as yours. Are you not allowed to have it? Mom doesn't want you to have the money? It's kind of like the question when we were asking about the husband, getting money from the husband. You want to claim it as yours. I'm manifesting this money. So like people do this sometimes like with business. So like maybe you're manifesting money into your business, but so much of it goes to expenses and to paying employees and to paying taxes. And then the person feels like, well, I didn't manifest $1 million this year through my business. I only manifested 400,000 this year because I spent this much elsewhere and it wasn't mine. You don't want to be in that habit. You want to be in the habit of claiming it. I'm manifesting all this money for my mother. I'm manifesting this money into my mother's reality. I'm manifest claim it as yours because again, you'll allow that bucket to grow that you and your mom are attracting into her, but because you're claiming I'm manifesting this money, I'm manifesting this money, the message that you're putting out, I'm manifesting money is going to allow more money to come back into your account. This is so common. I see this so frequently that if it isn't, the money isn't actually going into my account from my efforts, it doesn't count. So when we do that, what we say is there's a lack. I'm not manifesting. It's not my money. And so now I'm attracting less money. So you want to claim it. Claim mom's money as yours or mom's money as it may be. You must be from across the pond, I'm guessing. Maybe. Manuel, hi Andrea. I love you and your lives. I did your manifesting test, and last night I dreamed that I grabbed the duck by the neck and strangled it. What could it be? I don't know, but I would say you really want to manifest. You want to get some control over this. That's funny. That's funny. Raj, hey Andrea, I want to move back to Brooklyn, get a job, and reconcile with my ex. Any advice? Kind of the same advice I gave earlier about going down the path, especially with the first two, the moving back to Brooklyn and getting a job. Just start taking some steps in that direction. They don't have to be the right steps. When I say this, I don't mean that the step that you take has to be the right step. It's not about figuring out exactly how to get the job or exactly how to move back to Brooklyn. It's about just putting yourself in that place where you're moving towards it. Okay, that's it. I'm just moving towards it somehow because the energy that you put out is this is happening. We're getting there. We're going there. This is happening now. And then the attraction will come in where you'll start to receive support to allow you to move back to Brooklyn or to find the job that you want. Just start taking moves in that direction and don't think too much about what the right action. It's not about what the right action is. It's about I'm just moving in that direction. Reconciling with the ex can be a little different. It depends on where you're at with the ex. If the energy is squirrely, and it oftentimes is with exes, it can be very helpful to just take a break, okay? Let the squirreliness die down, okay? With exes, this is important. A lot of times people want the ex back and they want to, how do I get him back? Let me focus on it. And we're still stuck in that feeling of where we're hurt or we're stressed or we're anxious. And so we keep those vibrations active. So you don't want to do that. In the case of an ex, you really want to get back to neutral territory before you attempt to manifest them back. Because again, whatever energy you start with is either going to pull you up or pull you down. So you may have seen this before in other people's relationship dynamics. It's like once they get over the ex comes back. Once they move on, then the relationship repairs. It's because now they're focused in a more positive place. And so getting the ex back is more in alignment with those positive feelings. So were it me, Raj, I would spend my time right now moving towards somehow Brooklyn and getting a job and get involved in that and let that kind of take your focus because whatever projects you're focused on will start to generate momentum. And you'll find that by moving in those directions, the attention and the focus on the X problems naturally die down. Once you get that really cooking, X may just come back, or at that point, you can start to focus positively on the X. Wait to do it. Don't do it yet. But if and when you get to a place where those two dreams are really cooking and you've kind of moved on, think about the positives of that relationship, why the two of you work well together, why the two of you are a good match. Okay. Because then you'll be attracting them from that place of this is a good relationship, things work out between us, rather than these are all of our problems from the past that we're keeping active. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat. Rakeem, hi, Andrea. I'm not someone who's scared to spend money. Good. But I do get annoyed when I get a debt. I also want to attract more money. How can I fix this? So, the annoyance, most people do not like debts. They don't like bills, they don't like payments, and we fight against them. Okay. So when a debt comes in, there's I don't want this. Okay. But remember, what we resist persists. So anything in life that is providing some kind of an annoyance like that, we need to find a way to stop resisting and start rejoicing. That's the main thing. That's the reframe that has to occur. Now, most people don't want to rejoice a debt, but that's the trick. So, what you want to do in those kinds of situations is I always think it's fun to turn it into a game. Okay. This is a test of my manifesting powers. Let's see how quickly I can get this one paid off. Let's see how fast I can manifest this money. This is teaching me how to become more abundant. This is teaching me not to care about a debt. Like, turn what's going on as a positive rather than a negative. It's not hindering my abundance, it's actually teaching me how to become more abundant. It's actually providing me with a manifesting challenge. It's actually giving me the opportunity to test myself. See, when you look at it that way, now instead of I don't want this debt, you have more of a okay, bring it on attitude. Bring it on. Now, when you have this attitude towards debt, bring it on. Now you're not saying this has got to go away. You're saying this is all good. Then you attract the ability to pay off that debt quickly and to keep debts at bay. Okay, so that's a big thing. Anything that you're fighting with, you want to find a way to rejoice instead. J. Cole, time's not linear. Yeah. Raise our eye view. Thank you, Andrea. Have learned so much from you. Always improving each day. I'm manifesting generational wealth from my family, and I wish you all the same. Thank you. Raj, you text daily, but she wants you to be gainfully employed. Yeah, so she can wait then. Ah, put her down for a little bit. Go get the job. Shatakshi Shakar, I've been struggling to get a job in the US for the past 6 months and am in a debt of 200,000 due to my master's. I have 80 days to get a job and I am crashing couches. What should I be focusing on first? Ooh, that's a tall order, right? Okay. So again, what we resist persists. So sometimes this happens where there's some chaos going on and now I'm attracting more. And now there's a lot of chaos going on. Okay. Don't resist the chaos. Don't resist the craziness. Jump in. Okay. So in situations like that, I've got 80 days to do this and there's this problem. I'm crashing couches. Look at it as an adventure. You are in the adventure part of your life right now. Okay. This is an amazing story. Someday you're going to look back and say, wow, that was quite a ride. So, one thing that you may have heard me talk about, I haven't talked about it in a while because we don't have the passes right now, but I live in Florida. So, we used to get like the Disney World annual passes and the Universal annual passes because me and my husband and my kids, we love roller coasters. Love roller coasters. And so, this question reminds me of this. Okay. There's two kinds of people that ride a roller coaster. Okay. You have person A who's like holding on to the rail and terrified the entire time and has a miserable experience. And then you have person B who takes their hand off the rail, throws their hand in the air, goes to the ride, and screams and enjoys the excitement of it. Okay. When life throws you into those kinds of situations, you want to conjure that image. This is a ride. I'm gonna enjoy the go with it. Okay, because you got a lot of fast moving energy. If you release the resistance, you're going to allow yourself to open up to things going well for you. But it's the way that you're attending to the ride that will dictate how the outcome arrives to you. Okay, so remember that roller coaster analogy. That one's helpful to me whenever things get a little chaotic. Get your hand off the bar. Okay, go wherever it's taking you. It's an adventure. All right. Quick reminder, guys, again, today is the last day for my sale. This is the last course sale of the year. We do have two programs right now that are on their lowest price. They will not be on sale again, these two programs, for another year. So if you're interested, make sure to go ahead and check them out. I'm sure Mary's going to go ahead and drop the links to those into the chat. But the first one is my Entrepreneur Fast Lane program. So for those of you who are either business owners or aspiring entrepreneurs, or we had some questions over here about, if you need views, if you need subscribers, if you're commission based, anything where you're trying to get more in, but it's hard to get the people through the door. This program is going to show you how to do that, how to manifest customers, clients, subscribers, followers, etc., quickly and easily. That one's called Entrepreneur Fastlane. The other one is my debt program, because as we've seen here, we do get lots of questions on debt. Manifesting yourself out of debt is something you can do quite easily, and you can do without spending less money. So a lot of times people think that in order for me to get out of debt, I need to go on this really strict budget. I can't spend. And that's really frustrating, especially now, this time around the holidays. The good news is that's not the way out of debt. Okay. And so this program is going to show you how to manifest your way out of debt using the law of attraction. Again, both of those programs are on sale right now, but tonight it's over. Okay. So if you're interested, click the links, go check out the descriptions. There are videos that will kind of tell you what each one is about. And if you are a good fit, go ahead and sign up using the coupon code SUCCESS. That code can be used towards one or both programs, up to you, but it does expire tonight. I want to grab one more question here. Let's see. Britt, any ideas how to do a beauty routine to manifest more money? I'm trying to dress as if on a daily basis. In my experience, when it comes to the beauty, what I've known, because I tell you guys, like, okay, acting as if the wealthy to attract more wealth is kind of the question. So when we're talking about beauty, as I've studied people who are wealthy, what I would say is it's a little bit more less is more. So you want to try to focus a little bit on more natural beauty rather than the really out there stuff. So, so like I get my nails done, but I usually do like a single color. I keep them kind of a natural length. I don't get like the really long pointed nails with all the glitter on them. They're fun. I like them, but they're not the typical wealth beauty equivalent. Same thing with makeup. You can wear makeup, that's great, but you probably want to avoid going overboard. Okay. So we want to think more in terms of classy rather than trashy. Which, hey, I like the trashy. It's fun. Gab Cam, $20. Thank you so much. You are so sweet. Oh, you're having a vortex day? Enjoy your vortex day. All right, guys, that's going to conclude today. It's been about an hour. I got to jump off. Thank you so much for joining me for the live. I will be back on Sunday. So if you're interested in joining me for another one, come visit me on Sunday. I will be on YouTube and Instagram. So if you are on Facebook, come and join me over on YouTube or Instagram on Sunday. But thanks again, guys. It was nice seeing all of you. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.